I'm the general manager for Mrs. Chenault. She has a number of operations here in Washington, and I kind of just oversee that everything goes okay. But a bonus really for me in working for Mrs. Chenault is the historical aspect of I guess her involvement with the Air Force and all the ex-military items, especially General Chenault. In that being a history buff myself, when I first started working for her, I knew this would be an interesting job, but I just never realized what kind of treasures I would find or see for myself firsthand. All the things that's here in the office.
Were you surprised to find the diary?
Very much so. Well, I guess for the diary, I didn't find it myself. Ms. Chenault mentioned that she has this diary, and when she finally gave it to me, it's almost like handling the Gutenberg Bible. I mean, it's something that's so unique, and and in looking through the diary, I think gives me a good insight as to the kind of person that Jenna Chenault was.
And what
Um,
is that?
it seems to be quite idealistic, and obviously he has a strong belief in his own knowledge of the skills and the air tactics and things like that, being a soldier. But he's very idealistic in that sense, in the sense that in the diary it says that he went to China because he wanted to help the Chinese people to get a better life. So it's very interesting.
He was quite infatuated with Madame Chiang, wasn't he?
Yes, he was apparently. The first time he met her, I believe he was just totally taken with her. In fact, in his diary, he mentioned here. Uh, I think I skipped the page. Here, on June 3rd, 1937, he wrote, granted interview by Her Excellency Madame Chiang Kai-shek, who hereafter will be the princess to me. So that's, I guess, that was the impression that he had of Madame Chiang Kai-shek when he first met her.
Mm. Out of all the things that you've seen so far, what is the most special, you think?
Um, it's so very difficult to say because all the items here have their own special meaning. General, the personal diary is obviously one of the crown jewels that we have. But also, I found the combat records and operation records of the AVG from mid-November 41 through July 42, and apparently that is, from what I understand, is the only existing complete set anywhere in the U.S. because I understand the AVG pilots who used to have theirs gave them many years ago to a museum in San Diego, but a lot of it was destroyed in a fire. So when I found this set, I mentioned it to Colonel Rector. He was absolutely delighted. And then he called Dick Rossi and told everybody else I discovered the set, and then they requested that I make a copy for them, which I did, and I sent it to Dick Rossi. So at least now they have some of their own records back after all these years.
Are there people who are interested in researching the AVG and the general?
I think AVG is always an interesting topic to military historians. It was such a short period that they actually existed, and yet they did so much. So the interest is always there. For ourselves, we don't really have a timetable as to when we need to get this thing set up. It's I think we need to do this in-house very carefully, kind of meticulously going through the exact documents to see what we have. Because so far I just uh, categorize them roughly by squadron and the dates and things like that. But we still have to go through in detail what the documents actually say, and also in some of the additional documents that the general's copy of all the some of the correspondence that he had of the 14th Air Force era in the CATF. There are still a lot of very interesting documents. The letters that he wrote to Stilwell and all the correspondence he had with Bissell and Arnold and Wiedemeyer. Those we still haven't gone through yet. So there's a tremendous amount of material here. I'm sure military historians writing a book may be interested, and eventually we need to work with some professionals as to really determine what best to do with this material. So the whole setup is still far from finished, and it's still some way off.
You're a Hong Kong person. Personally, what does it mean to you? I mean, being somebody from Asia, and you know that his role was so significant there. I mean, personally, what are your feelings? I mean,
sometimes I have to pinch myself to see if I'm really awake, because of all the things I heard about the Flying Tigers when I was a young kid, and the fact that I am now in the midst of all this historic documents and being a friend of Colonel Ed Rector's, I mean, it's almost unreal in a sense. But I feel very fortunate to have this opportunity to be here at this time, at this place, in this job, that I feel I need to do something to preserve the integrity of this information and to present it to whoever in the future may want to document better what actually went on.
the AVG's role, I mean, during its heyday, it was quite significant, but has it been kind of lost and it's now a bit of a blip in military history?
Well, the AVG, for what they were, I think is a good representation of what men of goodwill and good mind can do to help in a difficult situation. The people who went out there, first of all, they just love to fly. They love to help and do whatever they can to help the underdog, as it were. Obviously, there are people who look at them and say, oh, they did it for the money. Perhaps that's true, but frankly, it's a good incentive. These people who went out there, they are very intelligent, highly trained people, and I think they were really looking for a good adventure, being young men at that time with great skills and good training. And when this offer came along, frankly, I mean, it sounds very attractive to me, except I couldn't fly a plane.